La revista de Memín aquí se ofendió una señora de color. Memín Pingüín, ¿no se acuerda de esa caricatura?
The cherry blossom are full bloom at the Sunday petals are falling in the soft breeze and sparkling in the sun. Being the cherry trees, crowds the people are pushing to enter the zoo on such a beautiful day.
Two elephants are outside performing their tricks for a lively audience, while blowing toy trumpets with their long trunks. The elephants walk along large wooden logs.
Not far from the cheerful square there stands a tombstone. Not many notice this monument for the animals that have died at the Wino Zoo. Is it quiet and peaceful here? And the sun warms every corner. One day, an employee of the zoo, while tenderly polishing the stone, told me a sad story of 3 elephants buried there.
Today, he said there are elephants in this zoo, but years ago we had 3 different elephants here. Their names were John, Donkey, and Wanli. At that time, Japan was at war. Gradually, the war had become more and more severe. Bombs were dropped on Tokyo every day and night, falling rain.
What would happen if the bombs hit the zoo? If the gates were broken and dangerous animals escaped to run well through the city? It would be terrible. Therefore, by command of the army, all of the lions, tigers, leopards, bears, and big snakes were poisoned to death.
By and by, it came time for the 3 elephants to be killing. They began with John. John loved potatoes, so the elephant keepers mixed poisoned potatoes with the good ones when it was trying to feed him. John, however, was a very clever elephant. He ate the good potatoes, but each time they brought a poisoned potato to his mouth with his trunk, he threw it to the ground. Kerplunk.
As the scene there is now in the way, the sea keeper saying, we must inject poison direct into his body. A large syringe, the kind used to give salt to horse, was prepared, but John's skin was so down. The big needles broke up with a loud snap, one after the other. When this did not work, the keeper later decided to start here to that. Poor John died 17 days later.
Then it was Donkey and Wendy's turn to die. These 2 had always gazed at people with loving eyes. They were sweet and gentle hearted. The zookeepers wanted so much to keep Donkey and Wanley alive that they strong of sending the to the zoo in Sendai far north of Tokyo. But if the bombs fell on Sunday, what if the elephants go loose and run wilder? What would happen then?
Donkey and Wanley too were doomed to be killed at the Wano Zoo, just like all the other animals. The elephant keepers stopped feeding Donkey and Wanley. As the days passed, the elephants became thinner and thinner, weaker and weaker. Whenever a keeper walked by their cage, they would stand up, tottering up as if to beg, "Give us something to eat. Please give us water." Their small loving eyes began to look like round rubber balls in their dropping, shrunken face. Their ears seemed too large for their bodies. The once big, strong elephants had become a sad shape.
And this while the elephant's trainer loved them as if they were his own children. He could only pace in front of the cage and the moon. "You poor, beautiful elephant." One day, Donkey and Wanley lifted their heavy bodies, staggered to their feet, and come close to their trainer,
squeezing out what little strength they had left. Donkey and Wanley made their appearance. They stood on their hind legs and lifted their front legs up as high as they could. Then, raising their trunk high in the air, they did their banzai trick. Surely their friend would reward them with food and water as he used to do.
The trainer could stand it no longer. "Oh, Donkey, oh, Wanley," he wailed and dashed to the food shed. He carried food and pails of water to them and threw it at their feet. "Here," he said, sobbing, and clung to their thin legs. "Eat your food. Please drink your water."
All the other keepers pretended not to see what the trainer had done. No one said a word. The director of the zoo would sat very still, biting his lip and gazing at the top of his desk. No one was supposed to give the elephants any food. No one was supposed to give them any water. But everyone was hoping and praying that if the elephants could survive only one more day, the war might be over and the elephants would be safe.
At last, Donkey and Wanley could no longer move. They just lay on their sides, hardly able to see the white clouds floating in the sky. Over the zoo, however, their eyes appeared clear and more beautiful than
seeing his beloved elephants dying this way. The elephant trainer felt as if his heart would break. He had no more courage to see them. All of the other keepers felt the same, and they too stayed away from the elephant's cage.
Over 2 weeks later, Donkey and Wally were dead wolves leaning against the bars of their cage, with their tongues stretched high in the air, still trying to do their bonsai trick for the people who once fed them.
"The elephants are dead! They're dead!" screamed the elephant trainer as he ran into the office. He buried his head in his arms and cried, beating the desktop with his fist. The rest of the zookeepers ran to the elephant's cage and stumbled in. They took hold of Tonki's and Wanli's thin bodies as if to shake them back to life. Everyone burst into tears, then stroked the elephant's legs and trunks in sorrow.
Above them, in the bright blue sky, the angry roar of enemy planes returned. Bombs began to drop on Tokyo once more, still clinging to the elephants. The zookeepers raised their fists to the sky and implored, "Stop the war! Stop the war! Stop all wars!"
Later, when the bodies of the elephants were examined, nothing was found and there was stuff like stomach, not even one drop of water. With tears in his eyes, the zookeepers finished his story. These 3 elephants, John, Donkey, and Wanley, are now resting peacefully under this monument. He was still patting the tombstone tenderly as the cherry blossom fell on the grave like snowflakes.
Chile blanco. No se ofende. No, el maestro no se ofende que digan chile, güey.
I don't want to eat.